So now our butter is nice and melted in there, and so we're going to put the costly garlic in first to give it a nice mixture. Actually, you know what? Add one additional utensil that I didn't show you before. Just a wooden spatula. It's kind of easier to work with here than a fork is. And it tosses these onions in there. Now, you can salt these to taste, or you can put other ingredients in. I'm just going to kind of leave them as they are a little bit, let those cook down a little bit. So as those are doing, I'm going to come over here and start mixing up my eggs. Now, you want to leave it probably 3 or 4 eggs per omelet, because more than that, then your cooking time varies, and you get to kind of get the hang of the cooking time. So it's important that you beat these really well. Now, I never put milk in any type of milk or anything inside my eggs, because I want to get the lift and the body and fluffiness by whipping it or by beating it, not by adding milk or cream. Now, the milk and cream, you'll see, we'll be adding to the onion. Okay, and important, this is probably the number one thing about omelets, is you have to have a low heat, so that egg cooks through and does not burn. Maybe reduce that flame a little bit there. Alright, so I've got pans heating up. I'm going to whisk these a little bit more, and I'm going to put a healthy amount of butter in the omelet pan, because the omelet needs to be very well coated with butter so the omelet does not stick. So, and if it's, you just want a good coating on there. With that. Alright, so that's going to kind of sit there and cook a little bit. You don't really have to do anything with it. Some people like to semi-scramble it as it's cooking, but you don't really have to do that. I just let it, as long as you have a low heat, and that will do its thing, and you'll start to notice that it will firm up around the edges, and that's actually how you tell when it is ready, when you have about 70% of the omelet is cooked through. Then you'll flip it. So these guys, we don't want them to burn a little bit. Garlic's getting a little toasted, which is fine. Another thing to remember with cooking eggs is that you don't want to salt your eggs during the cooking process. Salting your eggs makes them a little rubbery, they say, anyway. It will add a little rubberiness to it. So you salt them when it's completely cooked, toward the end, and that way you avoid that rubberiness. Alright, so over in the onions, I'm going to add a little bit of the half and half here. And reduce it a little bit.
What's the half and half for?
Just gives it a little body, little thickness there. So it kind of comes together in a cohesive filling. You could use heavy cream too if you want. I just happen to have half and half. So our egg is slowly cooking. So we have waiting music. I'll be inserting in here.
How long should this take?
Well, I've never really timed it. I always do it kind of by eye here and make sure that everything is cooked properly. But you just want to take your time, make sure that the slow heat or the low heat is set properly, because if it's too high, then you'll get brown eggs, and I don't know many people who likes overcooked brown eggs. So looks like this filling is just about completed here. This can also be cooked pretty much to taste. This is just my preference. I like onions and garlic, and it goes well with the Gouda cheese. I'm going to turn it off. That's going to be just about ready there. As you can see, as you start, the omelet starts cooking, the base of the omelet firms up, and that's how I tell when it's ready, when about 70% of the omelet is cooked. And so we're getting there, not quite ready.
So you actually mean that it doesn't pull away from the sides of the pan when you rotate the pan?
Correct. And see, with a good buttered pan, you're not going to get sticking. Like I'm getting a little bit of sticking here, but that's okay. We'll try to work with it. You don't want to start playing with this too early because then you'll tear it, and then it's harder to flip. See how it's firming up a little bit there?
Mm-hmm.
We're just about ready to flip it. Now flipping is difficult, so it can go awry at times, but you try to just do your best. You want to make sure that the omelet is completely loosened from the pan before you start to attempt to flip it. And I always use a fork to give me a good kind of good edge underneath. Alright, that is ready to flip. So got a tear. Let's try this one. There is a successful flip. And see, as you notice, that low temperature has kept the egg from browning, which is exactly what we don't want brown eggs. We want nice and evenly cooked. A little bit not overcooked. I like them to be a little undercooked almost. So not super overcooked. The egg will cook, continue to cook on its own as you just kind of sit it there. So now we salt it. You can salt to taste. Put the cheese on so it'll start to melt.
So immediately after you flip, you start to add your ingredients.
And because that'll cook pretty quickly there. So just kind of put the cheese on one side and your other ingredients. Red bell pepper. Those are done fresh, so they have a nice crispiness. A healthy amount of peppered tomatoes. I love tomatoes. And I'm going to put the avocado on top. So I'm going to put a little more pepper here. And we're ready to close up. Oh, excuse me, I almost forgot our onion. Put that over here. Nice. A little bit of cheese on the top. Start that melting there. For the plating, a little bit of fresh ground pepper on top, a little bit more of tomato across it, and now for the avocado on top, just to kind of give it a garnish. And there you go. Nice omelet. Nice freshly cooked egg.